Every parent at some point finds themselves asking the same question. Why does my baby cry so much? At 3 o'clock in the morning, when the house is silent and the world feels still, a baby's cry can feel overwhelming, confusing, and sometimes even frightening. Many parents worry that they are doing something wrong or that something serious might be happening. But here is the truth. Crying is not a problem. Crying is communication. In fact, a baby's cry is one of the most advanced survival tools nature has ever created. In this documentary, we will explore the real science behind why babies cry, what different cries actually mean, and how understanding them can completely change the way parents respond. This is not opinion. This is science. Let us begin at the very start. The first language of a human being. Babies are born without words, without gestures, and without the ability to control their environment. They cannot move towards comfort. They cannot explain discomfort. They cannot survive on their own. Yet, from the very first moment of life, they possess one powerful tool, their cry. Crying is a baby's first language. It is the only way a newborn can tell the world that something is happening inside their body or mind. From a biological point of view, crying is not random noise. It is a finely tuned signal designed to activate an adult's nervous system. Research from pediatric neuroscience shows that a baby's cry triggers an immediate response in the adult brain, particularly in areas associated with attention, empathy, and urgency. This is why it is so difficult to ignore. Nature designed it that way. Crying is a survival mechanism. From an evolutionary perspective, human babies are born incredibly vulnerable. Compared to other mammals, human infants are unable to walk, feed themselves, or escape danger for many months. Crying ensures survival. When a baby cries, adults are compelled to respond. The sound cuts through fatigue, distraction, and even deep sleep. This is not accidental. Studies conducted in the United Kingdom have shown that infant cries fall within a frequency range that the human ear finds particularly difficult to ignore. This ensures that caregivers respond quickly, increasing the baby's chances of survival. So when your baby cries, they are not being dramatic, they are being human. The 5 core reasons babies cry. Although crying can feel unpredictable, science tells us that most baby cries fall into 5 main categories. Understanding these categories helps parents respond with confidence rather than anxiety. Let us explore them one by one. 1. Hunger cry. The most common reason babies cry is hunger. A newborn's stomach is extremely small, roughly the size of a cherry on the first day of life. This means they need to feed frequently. Hunger cries usually begin gently. They may start as soft whimpers, lip smacking, or rooting movements. If these early signals are missed, the cry becomes louder and more urgent. At this stage, the baby is not angry. They are simply saying, "I need fuel." Responding early often prevents prolonged crying episodes and helps establish a sense of trust between baby and caregiver. Discomfort cry. Babies are highly sensitive to physical discomfort. A wet nappy, tight clothing, a label rubbing against the skin, or even feeling too hot or too cold can trigger crying. Unlike adults, babies cannot ignore discomfort. Their nervous systems are still developing, meaning sensations feel stronger and more intense. A discomfort cry often sounds fussy and persistent rather than sharp or sudden. Checking basic needs calmly and methodically usually resolves this type of crying quickly. Fatigue and overstimulation. Many parents assume that if a baby is tired, they will simply fall asleep. In reality, the opposite happens. Babies cry when they are overtired. As the day progresses, sights, sounds, and interactions build up inside a baby's nervous system. Without the ability to regulate these sensations, the brain becomes overwhelmed. This leads to fussiness, arching of the back, and intense crying. Sleep researchers in the UK emphasize that tiredness is one of the most misunderstood causes of infant crying. Creating calm routines and recognizing early sleep cues can dramatically reduce these episodes. Need for connection. Babies do not only cry for physical reasons, they also cry for emotional connection. Human infants are wired for closeness. Skin-to-skin contact, familiar voices, and gentle movement help regulate a baby's heart rate and stress hormones. When babies are separated from caregivers or feel emotionally unsettled, crying is their way of calling for reassurance. This is not manipulation. This is attachment. Studies show that responding consistently to emotional cries helps babies develop a secure sense of safety, which benefits them well into adulthood. 5. Pain or illness. Pain cries are usually sharper, louder, and more intense. They may come suddenly and be difficult to soothe. While most crying is normal, changes in cry tone, frequency, or behavior should always be taken seriously. Healthcare professionals advise parents to trust their instincts. If something feels different, it is always appropriate to seek medical advice. Why crying peaks around 6 weeks? One of the most confusing experiences for parents is when crying suddenly increases around 6 to 8 weeks of age. This is completely normal. During this period, a baby's nervous system undergoes rapid development. They become more alert, more sensitive, and more aware of their surroundings. This increased awareness can feel overwhelming. As a result, crying peaks. Understanding this phase helps parents realize that they are not failing, they are witnessing growth. Crying does not mean you went doing something wrong. Perhaps the most important message for parents is this: a crying baby is not a reflection of poor parenting. Crying is part of healthy development. Research consistently shows that babies who cry are communicating, learning, and adapting to the world around them. Responding with calm, patience, and presence builds trust and emotional security, and that foundation lasts a lifetime.